Right, today we're talking about what they don't show you on Instagram. You know what I mean? All those property posts with people stood in front of a fancy house they definitely don't own, talking about their portfolio of 47 properties they bought in 6 months with no money down. Yeah, that's not what we're doing today. Today I'm giving you the real, the unsexy, the bits that don't make good social media content but are absolutely crucial. I actually want to succeed at this. So if you're here for get rich quick fantasies, that ain't it. But if you want the truth, buckle up. First, unsexy truth. Most of your time as a property investor is spent doing boring admin. Spreadsheets, bookkeeping, chasing invoices, organizing documents for your accountant who needs them in a specific format that you didn't know about until right now. You're not swanning around viewing gorgeous properties all day. You're sat at a kitchen table at 11 p.m. trying to remember if that £47.82 expense was for the plumber or the electrician. You know what? This boring stuff, this is where the money is made. The difference between making money and losing money in property often comes down to whether you're tracking your expenses properly, whether you're claiming everything you can, whether you've got your finances organized enough to actually know which properties are performing and which ones are dragging you down. I know investors who've got 10 properties but can't tell you their actual profit because their records are a mess. Not investing, that's just owning stuff and hoping for the best. The second unsexy truth, your success in property has less to do with you finding great deals and more to do with building great relationships. I know. You want me to give you some secret strategy for finding below market value properties, right? Well, here's the real secret. The best deals come from relationships. Your best electrician who gives you mates rates and actually shows up when he says he will, that's worth more than 20% discount on a property. Your mortgage broker who knows your situation inside out and can get you financing quickly. Goldmine. The estate agent that calls you first when something good comes on. That's your competitive advantage right there. I spend more time maintaining my relationships with tradespeople, agents, mortgage brokers, solicitors, and other investors than I do looking at property listings. Because here's what happens. When you're known as someone who's decent, who pays on time, who treats people well, the good stuff comes to you. The secret deals everyone talks about, they go to people who've built relationships, not people who are constantly shopping around for the cheapest option. Unsexy? Yes. Effective? Absolutely. The third unsexy truth, and this is the big one, property investing will test you mentally. Nobody talks about this, but there will be days when you question everything. When a refurb goes over budget, when a tenant trashes your property, which is happening to me at the minute, when a deal falls through after months of work. I've had moments sat in my car crying because something went wrong and I didn't know how to fix it. Never for longer than 5 minutes, I can assure you. And you know what? That's normal. This stuff is stressful. You're managing big money, you're dealing with people's homes, you're taking risks. If you're not someone who can handle uncertainty, if you need everything to be predictable and safe, property investing is going to be really hard for you. Here's the thing. You develop resilience. You learn that problems are just problems, not catastrophes. You figure it out, you move forward. Every successful investor I know has war stories. Properties that went wrong, tenants from hell, deals that collapsed. The difference between them and people who quit is they kept going. So before you jump into property, ask yourself, am I okay with things going wrong sometimes? Can I handle the stress? Do I have support around me? Because you'll need all of it. The fourth unsexy truth, building a property portfolio takes longer than everyone says it does. Those people on Instagram who went from 0 to 10 properties in a year, myself included, they're either lying or they've got a massive financial advantage they're not mentioning, or they're doing something risky that's going to bite them later. Personally, I used investor finance. For most normal people, people like me included, who started with modest means, building a portfolio is a multi-year process. My story is different because I was able to get investor finance from the get-go and find good deals. But I would happily advise anybody now, after my own story, to take it slow. Slow and steady means you're building solid foundations. The people who rush, they make expensive mistakes, they over-leverage, they buy bad deals because they're focused on speed instead of quality. If you're in this for the long term, and you should be, then taking your time to do it right is the smartest move you can make. I'd rather have 3 really good properties that cash flow well than 10 average ones that barely break even. Quality over quantity every time. The fifth unsexy truth, you will constantly second guess yourself. Should I have offered more on that property? Did I pay too much for this refurb? Is this the right area? Should I have gone with a different tenant? It never stops. Even when you've got experience, you'll still question your decisions. And here's what nobody tells you. That's actually okay. Self-doubt means you're thinking critically. You're analyzing. You're not just blindly charging forward, assuming you know everything. The problem isn't the self-doubt. The problem is letting it paralyze you. Every decision you make in property involves some level of uncertainty. You'll never have perfect information. There's always risk. The skill isn't eliminating doubt, it's making decisions despite the doubt, based on the best information you have, and then learning from what happens and adjusting for the next time. That's it. That's the game. So there you have it. 5 unsexy truths about property investing that nobody puts in their Instagram posts. It's boring admin, it's relationship building, it's mental resilience, and it's slower than you think. And it involves constant self-doubt. Still want to do it? Good, because despite all of this, it's absolutely worth it. The freedom it can give you, the financial security, the pride of building something that's yours. But you've got to go in with your eyes open. No fairy tales, just reality. And honestly, the people who succeed at this are the ones who can embrace the unsexy parts, who can be consistent when it's boring, who can keep going when it's hard. If that's you, you're going to do just fine. All right, I've got to go do some boring admin now. Living the dream as always. But subscribe if this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.